kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí I say a very good afternoon and welcome to our live transmission from number 10 Downing Street. As usual, you all know that the platform is all for self-determination. So there is a question that is pertinent to many Nigerians and as many people that are watching us and those that will have the privilege to watch this broadcast later. And that question I'm asking is, would Britain allow the amalgamation of Nigeria? It's a big question, and I would like to see and know what you feel from those of you that have joined us and those that will be watching. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, and this is Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Bear with me as we give you the shot from here. We are just also going to be telling you the reason why we're here again today. As everybody knows, it has always been the question whether Britain would allow Nigeria to disintegrate. It's a big question, but many people are not proudly convinced that that is going to happen anytime soon. But who knows whether that will happen or not? We'll keep it going. As you're joining the broadcast, please, what you can do for you is to share the broadcast and invite as many people to join as well. We have a very clear weather, so we shouldn't be worried about the weather. As you all know, there might be some noise at the background. Bear with me as there's a lot of work going on as usual right here in number 10 Downing Street. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. We are live, as you can see, from number 10 Downing Street. This is the country that created Nigeria. The question now everybody's asking is, would Nigeria finally come into a total disintegration since the union is no longer working? This is what we're going to be discussing, and I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know. We are struggling with the network here, as usual, even though there is no scaffolding. The last time I was here, there was quite a lot of scaffolding, but today there's no scaffolding. The Prime Minister just got in, just about some 20 minutes ago. He's just popped in, not too sure when the election is coming up, but we know that whether we like it or not, he would have to call the election very soon. But the question is not about the election. The question is about the 1914 amalgamation of Nigeria, which Britain created. And the question we're asking everybody is whether Britain would allow Nigeria to finally, itself peacefully, dissolve, because, the union is no longer working. The Yoruba people are crying out, the Biafra doing the Ijos. It's a country that was put together, for their own selfish interest. And the question now is, since that union is no longer working, would it be the right thing for Britain to come out and exactly say to many Nigerians that we are sorry, we created something that was as useless as, tissue paper, never worked for many of us that have left Nigeria. The question again and again is, the 1914 amalgamation is the genesis of the problem, the foundation of what Britain created. And the question is, after 110 years, it is no longer working. And this is why we are asking, would Britain allow a total dissolution of that crazy country called Nigeria, where terrorism has become the norm? There is insecurity. There is also, Nigeria is the capital poverty of the world. With all the resources, it seems that it has failed and is no longer capable. Like I told you yesterday, the Edo State governor was asking the question as well. The center is no longer working. And since the center is not working, would it not be in the interest of everybody to allow Nigeria to dissolve? But some Nigerians are still adamant And they are hoping that one day Nigeria will still work. I am not one of those, and I hope you are not also one of those that believe in that crap. Nigeria is not going to work. There's no amount of lies that we are being told that is going to work. It is not working. Our identity is the most important thing. Our identity has been hidden under Nigeria. I'm a Yoruba before Nigeria, just like the governor Godwin Obaseki said in what we said yesterday, that he is an Edo before Nigeria. But what British created, just like they did in India, just like they did during the empire, has created a lot of boundaries. And this is why there's tension in Nigeria. And the question is, would the empire, the British Empire, finally come out and say, we are sorry, this union is not working, it has failed, and it's not going to serve, the 60 million. Let me remind you that the Scottish people were given a referendum in 2014 to allow them to decide whether they want to remain in the union. And the Scottish people are still contesting that they want to exit the 1701 union that formed what is known as UK. Just like the Wales is 3 million. They're asking the same question. They want to exit peacefully out of the union. Remember that the UK in 2016, the citizens were given the opportunity to decide whether they want to remain part of the European Union. But yet, the question is, why is it difficult for them to come out and say to those running the affairs of Nigeria that this country is no longer holding, the center has failed, and we should just allow everybody to go their separate ways? But it is always a very difficult one, because as we say all the time, Nigeria is the pot of soup for many of the European countries. Nigeria remains a country that is used for their own resources purposes. And this is why we are saying to many Nigerians that you will never get access to good security, good education, good welfare, and that is why many of us want to travel out of Nigeria, just like we have done as well. But that is not going to solve the problem. The problem is the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation put together by British in 1914. Nigeria is only 110 years old. Yoruba people have been existing for more than thousands of years before Nigeria was created. It is not working, and it will be in the interest of the British government, the royal family, to come into the round discussion with the Yorubas, just like we had the Obafemi Awolowo, the Azikiwe, the Tafawa Balewa in 1957, 1958, when they were negotiating the independence of Nigeria. But today, that independence is no longer working. We got a regional government that have been destroyed, and today the question is, would Britain allow the disintegration of Nigeria so that the Yoruba people can have their own independent country? Gibraltar is just under 40,000. It's a British territory, and they are already running a country with 40,000. 60 million Yoruba people cannot be kept in Nigeria and continue to be told that every 4 years we should go and decide who will become the next president. So that we can get many people in. As usual, it's a live transmission, but we are struggling to get all other platforms in. So bear with me as I'm trying my best to put as many platforms together so that we can have, a discussion, for probably 1 hour or two, depending on the weather. It's a beautiful weather. It is not raining today, but as usual, the British weather can always change on you. But we are always prepared, with a nice little summer jacket. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, orúkọ mi ni Olayomi Koiki, tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. And today we decided to bring the broadcast not from the house, but right from number 10 down the street. I saw Rishi Sunak just got in, but I couldn't ask him the question quickly. Would he allow Nigeria, to come into a dissolution rather than being told that we should continue every 4 years, knowing fully well the amount of corruption, the amount of stolen money that have been moved out of Nigeria? Abacha took $5 billion out of Nigeria, put it all over the world, and today, many of you are struggling. The dollar is going into 2,000 naira. The pound sterling is 1 pound to 1,800 naira. You know why? Because for 63 years, there is no electricity There is no security. Nobody wants to invest in a country that there is no security. These are all what we're going to be discussing. Please, if you're new to the platform, do help us to share and invite many people to join as well. Orúkọ mi ni Olayomi Koiki, tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Koikimedia, bringing the work closer to your doorstep, as we say all the time. It's beautiful outside, I can tell you. I've walked all the way from Trafalgar Square. I might probably popped around the Nigerian High Commission to see what is going on there, as many Nigerians are trying to get their passport, renew their passport, traveling certificate, and all sorts as well. But one thing is, as I say all the time, we will be discussing these important letter that we've sent to President Bola Tinubu under the leadership of Professor Akintoye. And I hope that Baba Akintoye and the YSDM will be writing a letter to number 10 Downing Street, an official letter, to tell them also why the Yoruba people, 60 million, needs to exit the contraction, the corruption that has been kept by British during the 1914 amalgamation. Is a failed union, and there is no denial about it. Everybody knows that Nigeria is a failed country, but we are all living in denial. If you're new to the platform, all you can do is just share it so that we can get many people to come and listen to the broadcast again this afternoon. Once again, I will be treating all these important documents. The British have the original document of the 1914 amalgamation. But what is concerning to some of us is that why are they not allowing us to see what are the details? Because many people are saying that after 2014, Nigeria was an experiment. We should all allow Nigeria to dissolve in 2014. But something keeps popping back. Many people say, oh, nothing of such. Should we continue to allow Nigeria to exist and then the indigenous people identity to be shielded away? These are the real questions. These are the pertinent questions. Bear with us, like I said, there's a lot of work going on right here behind me. And you might be getting some sound coming through. There's not much I can do for that. I try my best, so that we can make sure that all the platforms are all locked in. So, as I say all the time, don't allow anybody to fool you. Okay? Your politicians can tell you, oh, self-determination is a right. Is an inalienable right. Is a United Nations Charter. Remember that President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, during the United Nations Security Summit in 2015, was also promoting and asking that we should allow the Palestinians to have their own independent country. Not just the Palestinian, he was also supporting the Rohingya. So why is it that it's difficult for all the politicians in Nigeria to accept the truth that the country is no longer working? Obaseki told us during the interview he granted with Vanguard that Nigeria is not working. It needs to dissolve. The Yoruba people needs to go their separate ways, the Biafra separate ways, the Ijaw, and the other many countries that wants to come out. Soviet Union was dissolved in 1990. The heaven did not come down. Yugoslavia was dissolved. The war did not come down. Why is it then difficult that when it comes to Africa, it is always something that says, oh, we must kill each other before we get what we want? When the British were asking for the right to exit the European Union, there was no crisis. It was all about yes or no. And the referendum was accepted, and the decision was accepted by everybody. Just as the Scottish people were also given the same opportunity in 2014. Why then is it always difficult when it comes to Africa? Why is it difficult? Why is it that when it is our own time to ask for our own demand, it is always something else entirely? And this is what keeps some of us concerned. That why is it always like that? It shouldn't be. But as we know, the only people that can help us to solve the wrangling, the problem that we are facing today in Nigeria, it is only UK that has the shining light that can tell us exactly what we need to know and what we should be doing. Bear with us, the internet is not is very strong. We're struggling with the internet, but as again, there's not much I can do. Remember, to continue to support the platform so that we can be able to do as much when it comes to the conversation. Mokibugwa, we are right at number 10 Downing Street. Like I said, it's quite windy. It's just coming up to almost 1 p.m. local time, 10 minutes before 1 p.m., where we are bringing this live transmission. So I'm going to read the Babakitoye's letter. But like I said, I hope that the YSDM will be sending an official letter to number 10 Downing Street to also tell them the reason why the Yoruba people wants to go out of Nigeria. So let's read that letter briefly. It looks like I've lost something while I'm here, but I'll still find out whether I left it by the security. I cannot find my airport case. Mokibu Bentewo Alo Instagram, bear with me. That's how far I can do, in case you cannot see me properly. But I might sometimes maybe bring it up like this so that you can be able to see me. Then I'll have to take it back down because of the the way it is. There's nothing I can do. I wish I can do something, but there's nothing literally I can do. So bear with me, those of you on Instagram. But as long as you can hear my voice, that is the most important thing as well. The internet is not very good right here. I'm not too sure why, but again, because of the security and all that, it's always like that. But I think we're not doing bad on the Facebook, and we're not doing bad on some of the platforms as well. So let's quickly go through this letter again. This letter was sent to President Bola Tinubu on the 17th of April this year. And it goes like this. We Yoruba self-determination movement, leading the Yoruba self-determination struggle for the Yoruba sovereign state to separate from Nigeria, have the honor to send to Your Excellency this important letter on behalf of the millions of Yoruba people at home, in the Yoruba land, and in Nigeria, and the Yoruba diaspora in almost all the countries around the world. We send this letter most respectfully to Your Excellency as a follow-up to our earlier letter that was dated to President Buhari on the 6th of August 2022, which we delivered to his predecessor, even though Buhari ignored and decided not to give us a response. But Buhari went to United Nations in 2015 asking for the right of the Palestinian, but he never asked for the right of the Biafra, as they were already campaigning as at the time. Yoruba campaign started just about 2019. So let's continue. The central message of our earlier letter to President Buhari was that we, the Yoruba people of the southwest part of Nigeria, consisting of the Yoruba people of Ekiti State, Lagos State, Ogun State, Ondo State, Osun State, Oyo State, and the Yoruba local government areas of Kogi State and Kwara State, Ishekiri homeland of Delta State, all together amounting to an estimated total population of 60 million, desire to exercise and assert our self-determination as an indigenous nation, and therefore to constitute our whole homeland in Nigeria into a Yoruba sovereign state from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The second most important message in our said letter of August 6, 2022, to your predecessor, President Buhari, was humble request that the government of Nigeria should authorize and facilitate peaceful, orderly negotiation with us, Yoruba nation, with a view of reaching with us a mutual agreed and peaceful route from our separation from Nigeria. We wrote then as follows. In conclusion, along the lines of our peaceful approach and respect for the government and the laws of Nigeria, we hereby express our wish to engage in negotiation with the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria with a view to reaching a mutual agreed and a peaceful route for the completion of our realization of Yoruba nation self-determination. and establishment of a Yoruba sovereign nation state, which steps we desire to accomplish as expeditiously as possible. For this purpose, we hereby propose as follows: that the Nigerian government shall within the next 2 months, but not later than October 1st, 2022, informed us that they have grievously agreed to our proposal for negotiation, and that they have set up a negotiation team that will meet and dialogue with our Yoruba nation's representatives. That as soon as we receive the communication from the Nigerian government in response to this request of ours for negotiation, we shall forward the list of negotiation delegates to the Nigerian government. That the Nigerian government negotiation team and our negotiation team shall meet to appoint co-chairpersons to agree on a date for the first negotiation meeting, the negotiation procedure, and the negotiation venue. That ECOWAS, the African Union, and the United Nations shall be invited to send observers to the negotiation meeting. Our grave disappointment, Your Excellency, President Buhari and the Nigerian federal government have never favored our Yoruba nation with any response or even an acknowledgement to our August 6, 2022 letter. But like I said, Buhari was very eager to travel to United Nations in 2015 after he became the president, and then went there and asking for the right of the Palestinians to be given their right to self-determination. But he could not reply our own letter in 2022. That shows the double standard and the hypocrite of President Buhari as at the time. We hereby again very respectfully send to you, Your Excellency, a copy of our August 6, 2022 letter, which we wrote to President Muhammadu Buhari in his position as the President of Nigeria. We assert that we stand totally and absolutely with all the points and with every point that we made in that letter. And we respectfully urge you, Mr. President, to do the duty of your high position as President of Nigeria and favor us with an official response not later than the last day of May 2024. So we expect President Bola Tinubu. Look, it doesn't matter whether Tinubu agrees with us or not. He must first acknowledge the letter. If you send a letter to the Downing Street, you will get an acknowledgement. You will get acknowledgement to say that we received your letter and we are looking into it. So whether Tinubu agrees for Nigeria to dissolve or break up or not, or to have discussion with us, he needs to acknowledge the letter. That is what needs to happen. We are not in the military era. We are currently in a civilian government. And we hope that Tinubu would acknowledge that letter. Once again, my name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, reporting from number 10 Downing Street this morning. A very beautiful weather, as I can see the London Eye to my left-hand side, and I've just walked from the Trafalgar Square, and we hope that very soon we will be having our next peaceful rally out again in central London before the end of the year. Your Excellency, in order to further enable, enrich, strengthen your understanding and the consideration of our request for the separation from Nigeria, we consider it very important that we should furnish you with the following further information concerning our request. First, Your Excellency, Nigeria economy has collapsed. Nigerians, including our Yoruba people, are living in life of wrenching, poverty, and hunger. Important roads have dilapidated for years in our Yoruba homeland. Electricity supply has been increasingly fizzling out for years. For decades, businesses have been failing or fleeing from Nigeria, mostly from our Yoruba homeland, the home of the most of Nigerian businesses before 1960. Almost all the businesses and industries that have blessed our Yoruba homeland at independence in 1960 have shut down, from Okin Biscuit, Odutola Tires, and many more was purposely allowed to break, to dissolve during the military era. Everything that Babawolowo fought for during the Western region. Everything he aspired, everything he wanted was literally allowed to collapse during the military era. And today, you can see why many Yoruba people are trying to get to UK, Europe, so that they can survive. We can no longer survive in our homeland because of the inadequate security that is no longer provided by our government. The security level in Nigeria is becoming very alarming. We have Fulani, and like I said to you, even the UK is substantial. According to the MI5 intelligence, UK is likely to be attacked by terrorists. So one thing you need to understand is that Nigeria is not going to change anytime soon, because the amount of terrorists in Nigeria and sleeper cells is not going anywhere. We can no longer contain that. These are the reasons why the Yoruba people must exit that contraction that was created by British in 1914 amalgamation. So let's go further. First, Your Excellency, the Nigerian economy has collapsed. Nigerians, including the Yoruba people, are living life of wrenching poverty and hunger. Important roads have dilapidated for years in our Yoruba homeland. Electricity supply has been increasingly fizzling out for years. For decades, businesses have been fleeing from the Nigeria, mostly from the Yoruba side. Though Nigeria is one of the largest producers of petroleum in the world, Nigeria has depended on imported gasoline and has left its 4 refineries in disrepair. The price of gasoline has been rising steadily in Nigeria for years. In the past 9 months, the price of the gasoline has jumped beyond the reach of many Nigerians. Many Nigerians today have abandoned all their vehicles because they can no longer drive those vehicles because they do not have money to sustain to buy petrol. Once again, my name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, reporting live from number 10 Downing Street. And like I said earlier, just about an hour ago, I saw Rishi Sunak coming out of the vehicle, not too sure where he was coming from, but fleeing straight into that black door behind me. Important holders of the knowledge of the economy, such as the former governor of Nigerian Central Bank, Charles Soludo, the new Minister for Finance, Wale Edun, and the new National Security Advisor, Nuru Ribadu, and others, are telling the world that the Nigerian economy had collapsed before President Tinubu took over from President Buhari. Buhari literally collapsed the Nigerian economy, and for 50 years we have been backwards. It looks like there's something happening behind there. I can hear some band and some noise going on from my right hand side, but I can't see that. If you're new to the platform, please share the broadcast and invite as many people to join us as well. Therefore, the value of the Nigerian currency, the naira, has fallen abdominally, causing inflation to skyrocket, pushing the price of the food staples beyond the reach of most Nigerians. In all regions of Nigeria, huge numbers of hungry people are protesting in the street, crying of hunger, condemning the Nigerian government and calling for the dissolution of Nigeria. The collapse of the Nigerian economy today is the end outcome of the 6 decades of the perpetual, truculent, twisting, distortion, corruption, degradations of the Nigerian economy and life. Even President Tinubu, by the dint of knowledge and resoluteness, and with the help of the capable assistant whom he has brought into the government, succeed in healing Nigeria's economy to an extent. Nigeria's economy will certainly return to its downward trajectory after him. So what that means is that even if Tinubu pull out Nigeria into a stable economy, by the time Tinubu leaves office in 2027, because nobody guaranteed that Tinubu will be the president up to 2031, the next person will still collapse the economy. So it does not matter the amount of effort that Tinubu is trying to do. Nigeria is dead like a Titanic that is sinking under the ocean on the seabed as we speak today. There is no other country in the world about whom Nigerians kind of story can be told, that earned for many years some of the largest revenues in the world from petroleum, and that has continued to earn much of such revenue, and that has yet ended up as the #1 home of extreme poverty in the world, with millions of its citizens caused by starvation, dilapidated infrastructures, failure of electricity supply, and many more. Trying to lift up Nigeria's economy sustainable is a futile venture. So whatever Tinubu might be doing, whatever his effort, whatever he might think he wants to do to revive the Nigerian economy, that economy will still eventually collapse. The question then is, why should we try to fix an economy that will still end up collapse? Live from number 10 Downing Street this afternoon, where we are picking our broadcast from, and I hope that many of you will help us to share the program. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. As we say all the time, freedom is not something you buy from Tesco. You do not buy. But I am asking the question, would the number 10, the Prime Minister and the royal family, allow a peaceful dissolution of Nigeria? They created Nigeria. They have the key to allow Nigeria to dissolve. Would they do it? Maybe you can help us to put it in the comment section. Maybe somebody will be able to pick that along the line. As you know very well, Mr. President, the collective psychology of the Yoruba people is fundamentally pivotal to the development, progress, prosperity, and a constantly improving quality of life for all the citizens. Therefore, Your Excellency, it will amount to a betrayal of our people for us, their prominent sons and daughters, to consciously accept to continue to include our people in a country that is obviously producing economic collapse and threatening terrible devastation for all. Secondly, Mr. President, as you know very well, and as the whole world knows, we Yoruba are considerably well educated. The programs of free primary education commenced in our Yoruba homeland in the 1950s and extended up to the free education in the 1970s. Have produced the blessing that we Yoruba are very much an educated people. The younger sector of our population, our people of 18 to 50 years of age, are most solidly educated generation among our adult population. Our people of 18 to 50 years of age are the most solidly educated generation among our adult population. The same generation from 18 to 50 years of age amount to about 70% of our total population. The meaning and the consequences of this fact are as follows. First, our youthful adults are, because of their education, very dynamic, impatient population. Our men and women of this generation unable to bear the serious depreciation of the Nigerian economy, the consequent high and escalating rate of unemployment in Nigeria. We have many youth that do not have jobs in Yoruba land. Yoruba land has turned into a begging country. I mean, in terms of, the populace. And many people are trying to send their children out of Nigeria, however they get to Europe or other countries around the world. And as you know, the UK is also reducing the migration net. As the UK says, we do not want anybody to come here. We only need people that can be able to work and do the needful. So when you come into the country through those back channel, you'll be sent to Rwanda. So the question is, you as a Nigerian, when you come to the country through the back door, we are going to send you back to Rwanda, because the UK do not want people like you. But the UK is not doing much to allow the total dissolution of the country that was created in 1914, fraudulent amalgamation. Nigeria is only 110 years old. The Yoruba people have been in existence for thousands of years. The meaning and the consequence of these facts are as follows. First, okay, I've read that. Today, our estimate have it that over 11 million, that is a big number, over 11 million members of these Yoruba generation have fled abroad. And that rate of their flight is increasing. So we are still getting many people that are trying to get the hell out of Nigeria, known as Japa. No other nation in the world is losing population as heavily as these. The Yoruba nation in Nigeria is losing too heavy a part of its most educated, most dynamic population, is losing development capability, is bleeding too heavily, and is essentially breaking up. We Yoruba are in trouble, even frightening by this trend, and we strongly desire to stop it. We are sure that the only viable solution is to have a separate country of our own, a country in which we can build the national economy as competently as we are able to do a country in which we can seriously and quickly revive our people's economy, a country that can attract back our exiles from all over the world. Your Excellency, we Yorubas seriously expect to have your sympathy and cooperation, and the sympathy and the cooperation of the federal government of Nigeria in this serious noble. If it does, it will be in the interest of everyone, because as we think, we are likely along the lines in the future. Thirdly, Your Excellency, here is another important consideration that also relates to our highly educated youthful adult population. Almost all of our youthful adult people agreed by now that our Yoruba nation should have its own separate country. Almost all of this Yoruba youthful adult population accept up to this point the peaceful and law-abiding approach to self-determination process that the leaders of the struggle have been diligently promoting from the beginning. It is of utmost importance that the federal government of Nigeria should relate to this process and leadership. There are already signs, though only faint signs for now, that the educated Yoruba youthful adult in Yoruba homeland in Nigeria and their brethren in the diaspora may be becoming more and more radical in the struggle for the Yoruba self-determination. It is of utmost importance that the federal government of Nigeria should relate to this process and leadership. There are already signs, though only faint for now, that the educated Yoruba youthful adult in Yoruba homeland and their brethren in the diaspora may become more and more radical in the struggle for the Yoruba self-determination. If the federal government continues to make the mistake of neglecting response to the current peaceful process and the leadership of the Yoruba struggle, a seriously undesirable situation could develop among the generations of the Yoruba youthful adult, a situation that could generate much violence and that could violently shred and rip Nigeria apart and cause floods of blood and take countless lives. We hope that President Tinubu would not allow such to happen, but the ball is already in his court and is entirely up to him. Life at number 10 Downing Street, as we continue to see if we can ask the question, would Britain that created Nigeria in 1914 now accept and allow everyone to go their separate ways, or do you think otherwise? What do you think? Put that in the comment section and we'll catch up with you later on. This message therefore been seen by you, Your Excellency, as a patriotic and human warning to Nigeria. The serious criminal outburst that occurred in Ibadan during the weekend of April 11, 2024 needs to be carefully understood. The group which announced a takeover of the government in Ibadan on April 11 was manifestly weak and incompetent at the managing their action and its aftermath. But even so, the rulers of the country ought to take it as a very important and surprising signal that the group did manage to attract to itself as many educated Yoruba youth as they did. The urgency has obviously arisen for the federal government to interact with the current responsibility leadership of the Yoruba self-determination struggle. Since 1990, various informed persons have been warned that a massive revolt by educated Yoruba youth could happen in the Yoruba homeland, Nigeria. We seem now to be coming closer to such a revolt. From periodic and unconfirmed reports reaching the public about the group of April 11, some of the young persons who were involved in that action are now telling friends and relations that the reason it was easy to deceive them into it was their fervent desire to have their Yoruba self-determination fulfilled, in which they were all encouraged. By some of their friends and brothers in the diaspora, this does not sound good for the Yoruba and for Nigeria at all. And the Yoruba and Nigeria leaders and rulers must now respond to it with a serious sense of responsibility. Snippets of news that the government is threatening fire and brainstorming against all advocates of self-determination are very unhelpful and totally unhelpful. Fourthly, Mr. President, another crucial matter that we Yoruba must bring before Your Excellency is the horrific and seriously disturbing character of the attitude and utterly disrespectful approach of one of the nations of Nigeria, namely the Fulani nation, to the federal government and the sanctity, integrity, and the dignity of the Nigerian state and the public order. Since 2015, the Fulani have been killing widely among the other peoples of Nigeria, including us, Yoruba, destroying our farms, villages, and other assets, kidnapping men and women and children, extorting large amount of money as ransom from friends and family of the kidnapped, and repeatedly asserting their intention to seize the homeland of all the indigenous peoples of Nigeria for the purpose of turning all into Fulani homeland and rename as Fulani villages. In our Yoruba homeland, our people are resisting what better. But the Fulani attacks and killings and kidnappings are unrelenting and are coming daily, leading to a horrific instability and forcing most of our farmers to abandon farming altogether, thereby doom Yoruba people to years and years of famine. Imagine if there's a terrorist attack in the country where people can no longer go to work, where people cannot get to farm. How do you think that UK will sustain its economy? The reason why the Yoruba economy has been destroyed is because the Fulani continue to attack us on the farm, continue to destroy the Yoruba and every part of what is known as the Yoruba economy today. Thank you so much, Mrs. Comfort Ologunja. Thank you for your great effort on the Yoruba Nation Movement campaign. Once again, this is live transmission on the 13th of May 2024, and the time is just coming up to 20 minutes past 1 p.m. As you see, the Black Door is one of the most important doors around the world. Many people come here, pictures and many other engagement. And like I said, the Prime Minister just went in just about an hour and a half ago right now. If you're watching us on Instagram, bear with us. As long as you can hear me, that is the most important thing in terms of the broadcast this afternoon. Bear with us. There's a hiccup with the network, and that is why it's going in and out. But we're almost there with this letter that we sent to President Tinubu. And I hope that Babaki Toye and the YSDM will be also directing an official letter to number 10 Downing Street. I hope Rishi Sunak will still be the Prime Minister, but he needs to call the election, and the British citizens will decide whether he returns back to this office or is resident. On the other side is number 11, which is for the other, chancellor as well. As many people come in and out, it's a very busy resident. There's a lot of engagement. There's a government building, and a lot of activities is going on 24/7, as you can tell behind me. Once again, my name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. For those of you that are watching us, let me just show you again. This is the view, as you can see, a very beautiful view. It looks like it's kind of going to rain. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm still looking for my airport case. I don't know where I've dropped it, but I'm going to check with the security when I was coming in. I'm very sure that I brought it in. Oh, it's there. I've been looking for it. I finally find it. I've been looking for it for some time now. Moki gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri gbogbo bí tẹ́tí ń gbọ́ wa tẹ́tí ń wò wá. Want to make it easy. Bear with us. I cannot mention your name, but I will appreciate as many of you. But as you can tell, number 10 Downing Street is where the transmission is coming from this particular day, and we hope that so let's move swiftly because the weather is not friendly anymore. The British flag is there, the Ukraine flag is there. I hope one day we can have the Yoruba flag up there as well. Let's go into it again. So Fulani have destroyed almost every part of Yoruba land. In the Middle Belt, horrendous bloodletting is going on. Many families have been forced into internal displaced people camps, and many of the villages have been seized by the Fulani and renamed as Fulani villages. In our Yoruba homeland, our people are resisting somewhat better, but the Fulani attacks and killings and kidnappings are unrelenting and are coming on a daily, leading to horrific instability and forcing most of our farmers to abandon farming altogether, thereby dooming Yoruba people to years and years of famine. According to the unofficial estimate, the Fulani killed as many as 29,000 Yoruba people. And people say we are not at war. We are already at war because 29,000 people were killed during the 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari. Even the IRA, during their fight, 30,000 people were not killed, and that lasted for 30 years. All these actions by the Fulani are to us, a Yoruba, a sufficient reason for seeking to separate our Yoruba nation from the contraction which was created by British in 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. Most of our Yoruba have no confidence in the restructuring that some of our most respected Yoruba leaders, such as our fathers in our highly exalted Afenifere, are advocating. Our reason is that we know that restructuring cannot keep Fulani Mariduas out of our land. Since after restructuring, the Fulani will still be Nigerians like us, and they will still have the full citizens' right to come in large numbers and with weapons and intend to kill and destroy and seize our homeland. We saw what happened at Ilepo about 2 weeks ago now. We saw how millions of goods were not just destroyed, 7 people were killed, many multiple people are still in the hospital. So Tabashi wa ninu restructure Nigeria. These people will still be citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Why do you think that the UK doesn't allow everybody to come into the UK? It's because they don't want a criminal and a terrorist to get their way into the UK. That is why you must apply for visa. And if you come through the back route by the boat, we will ship you back to Rwanda. That is what the UK government is saying. So when people say, hey, no, let us restructure Nigeria, they by restructure Nigeria, you will still have the same people as Nigerians. But when we have a Yoruba country, we will determine who comes into our country and who doesn't come into our country. UK doesn't want everybody to come here, especially if you're a terrorist. They want to make sure that terrorists are kept away from UK, and they continue to make sure that they can support the country where they are operating. Even though we know that UK is also insubstantial, that means that there are likely to be a terrorist attack in this country, according to the British government. But if you restructure Nigeria, you will still not be able to have your full Yoruba identity and culture. You will still be using that fraudulent name. The Yoruba owns the embassy during the Western region, but they've converted it into Nigeria today. So let's go further. So, I don't want to Riaza or something. I don't know what is going on right there. Sorry, I'm trying to pick where I read it up to. Ferry. Okay. Since after restructuring, the Fulani will still be in Nigeria like us, and they will still have the full citizens' right to come in their large numbers. And with weapons and intend to kill, destroy, and seize our land, to our homeland. Their spokesperson have said again and again ambiguously that the Fulani nation has prepared all its citizens to fight their current war of subjugation. The Fulani, we must not condemn our people to Fulani killings, destruction, raping, kidnapping, extortion of ransom for decades or centuries to come. Our Yoruba nation may not survive such a prolonged battering. Let me explain that. Koiki, Emma worry, everything will be fine. Nothing is going to be fine. We are living in denial, okay? It is better for us to stop it now. Mukibaba Prophet John Ogundele, shout out to many of you that are watching. We're live at number 10 Downing Street, the most important door. There's a lot of noise at the background. Only the noise is filtering through. Bear with us as well. I know the signal is not very good. continue to support so that we can also advance and scale up. Media needs a lot of support, like we say all the time, so that we can be able to do as much work as we are doing. Let me show you the view from here. As you can see, that is coming into the number 10 Downing Street, and if you look right there, you can see the flags and all that as well. Bear with me. There's a lot of movement there. You have to just bear with me the way the broadcast is today. It is what it is. Let's move this backwards a little bit. And welcome once again. And I hope you can still hear me loud and clear, even though I pushed it a little bit backwards. So I don't know what's going on there, but there's a lot of noise coming from there as well. So I'm going to move swiftly because I can say that it's like what I'm doing here. Fifthly, Your Excellency, since your inauguration as President of Nigeria in May 2023, the Fulani have stepped up onto such a higher level of national devastation as to add mightily to our reasons for seeking to separate our Yoruba nation from Nigeria. We ask you to witness, Your Excellency, the two declarations was government who was arrested for illegally creating an armed Fulani force which he intended to deploy to all the state of Nigeria. The Fulani Declaration Command, we hereby reiterated our demand for the release of the Bello Badejo. We hereby give the government 72 hours notice. Failure to release him, the Nigerian government will hear from us. This was when the Fulani Miati Allah leader was arrested. You know what they told the federal government. But within 72 hours, the breaking is too much. There's not much I can do. It might be no internet alone for trade, and you have to remember that we are not the Sky and the BBC. And when the satellite, you want to be by talking peak is signal. I am using the mobile connection, and we are inside a very confined building. This is like the White House presidential house. This is like the Abuja presidency. So when you come here, don't expect your internet to be working like when I'm outside. So all the break that is happening is not my fault. It is because it also entails a lot of security. That also, because by transmit that is also a lot of security, because Timon send Google broadcast and they can see what I'm doing as well. It's a live transmission. It's not like I'm recording with my camera, I take it back to the studio, we edit and all that. So Toba struggle in platform platform me, maybe that will be able to work. We're doing our best, but like I said, I am in a confined place. So security, and you cannot come in here if you do not have security clearance. What's in appointment of so I am in a building that is so much with security. So I'm thinking about their integrity. One, you just wọlé sí bíbá. O kò lè pa gìrì wọlé. Òun ti gbogbo ẹni tó ń gbé ní UK ló lè wọ bíbá. Ẹlòmíì kò ń ba bíbá kọjá ni kò lè wọlé. So ẹ má bínú sí wa, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa in terms of the break in connection. So hopefully one day, táwa náà bá lówó, satellite wà ní bíbá. The other have their own satellite. So ló máa fi transmit. But nígbà táwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ ní satellite, I have to rely on the network from the other service provider. So ẹ má bínú sí wa. So ẹ manage it there. So let's go further. They threaten me that because the Fulani elders, and there's one Momentum Shenigibai is also bringing a lot of noise back into the broadcast, but I cannot control anything here. So my job is to do what I have to do, and they expect me to just go. And if you want to stay here, so bó ṣe jẹ́ ní ẹ má bínú sí wa. Ẹ lè lọ sórí Instagram bí ẹ máa stable there, but again gbogbo platform yẹn ló ń lọ tó ń bọ̀. So I wish I can do something to it, but ẹ bá wa gbà bẹ́ẹ̀. A wà níbi tí we can hardly hear you, okay? Well, like I said, Ukichuku, I am in a confined. Imagine you are in number 10, you are in White House. This is the resident of the prime minister. You think that you will just be getting a full security broadcast without any interruption? They will be interrupting it now. What do you expect? Before it leaves here, it has to go through some security before it gets to you. So you have to understand. So when you say you cannot hear hardly and cracking, just pick whatever you can pick from the broadcast. There's not much I can do to it. I'm sorry. I am in a confined security, place at the moment, but I'm trying my best. That's all I can say. So it might be I wish I can do something, but I can't. It's beyond my control. The security here is beyond me. So there's nothing I can do to that. And they can monitor everything that I'm doing from here as well. So, but we're just going to move swiftly. I think I have just about 3 more to read, and then we take it from there. So they're threatening that because the Fulani elders, and I know that all the volumes are loud, but it's just that the internet is the one, doing all the, all this wahala. That because the Fulani elders had failed to secure a Fulani successor or a person who would protect Fulani interests to succeed President Buhari in 2023, the Fulani have decided that their response is inevitable jihad. Thank you so much, Peter Pan. Just raising, thank you. Oh yeah, Shejari, sometimes people also distract us with their own comment, and that's why I'm not reading comment, since I started, this. And I want to just read this, because like I said, these are some of the letters that we should be forwarding to number 10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister, so that they can have it for record purpose. So threatening that because the Fulani elders had failed to secure a Fulani successor, they never expected Tinubu to be the president. They wanted another Fulani man to take charge, like Buhari. So it is now obvious we have no option than to relaunch our campaign, and we have started in earnest. Henceforth, the Nigerian government will hear from us in every town, every village, every city, and every community in the South and the Middle Belt. And we have seen the attack. Plateau State, we lost about 500 innocent Nigerians through the terrorist attack. Even the UK government, the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, I've told you that so many times. This is where that report comes out. They are always advising you that if you're going to Nigeria, do not travel to certain places because it is not secure and it is not safe. One, that the arrest of any Fulani in connection with the jihad is a crime against our Fulani collective interest. We warn the Nigerian government not to make a mistake of arresting any Fulani leader or person never again. These are the Fulani threatening President Tinubu on January 24 this year. They also announced our current efforts in Plateau State. We will not cease until the infidels are suppressed and jihad installed in every part of Nigeria to the glory of their father, Uthman Danfodio. So what they are saying is that we will continue to fight what we believe in, and we will dip the Quran in every part of Nigeria. And that is exactly what they've done. They've created more havoc. They've done more havoc to many Nigerians, and this is why I'm saying, would the British government, intervene in the current dissolution of Nigeria, knowing fully well that the British Empire have what it takes. They have all the documents of the 1914 amalgamation. They knew what was written inside it, and it is time they allow us to vet it so that we can decide whether we want to remain as Nigerians or not. Lugard was working for the British Empire in 1914 to create Nigeria with his girlfriend Laura Shaw. But today, the British government and the British system continue to say that we are part of the Commonwealth. We should remain one Nigerians. There's nothing wrong in that. They will allow few Nigerians to come in, but they will not allow a Fulani terrorist to come in, or if you are also a terrorist. But in Nigeria, terrorists can move from point A to B. And these are all the reasons why the Yoruba are saying, we've had enough of this crazy country called Nigeria. We need to exit it now. The second one command that no Fulani must be arrested in the connection with the bomb, with the powerful bomb explosion, which occurred. There's a lot of, once she gets here, and so it's making a lot of noise. It's a wrong day to come, is it? But you never know. There's always something happening here all the time. They are innovating, they are touching, they are doing this, they are doing that. So making a lot of noise, and it's feeding back into the broadcast. Maybe I should move maybe a little bit to that side, a little bit, because let's move a little bit. I'm gonna move slightly a little bit to that side because the noise is becoming very. So let me just move slightly. People are bad. I could be military bag. Lost CBT Tinubu. So let's move a little bit here because the noise there is just So you can draw back. Yeah, we're not too bad. Yeah, let's stay there because the noise there. So Chole lost CBT Tinubu. Komagbe military bag. Kakiri. One not here bag. Woeful. Mokinjari when you had that. Mo ne mi ni last man standing. Èmi ni máa ṣí ọkàn yín kúrò lára Nàìjíríà. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa, ẹ má bínú sí wa gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí platform. Thank you so much, Peter Pan. So let's continue. I think it's not too bad now. At least at a little bit, the noise there is just too much. So, during the bomb blast, don't allow Seyi Makinde to tell you, and that is 11. This is number 10 Downing Street. So number 11 here, that is where the Chancellor. But this is where Rishi Sunak stays. And if you look back this way, you can see that is the entrance. A lot of security. So you can tell that it's not just Iruwa Ogiriwa Lumawonu Bibai. So they have to protect, the Prime Minister. Very, very important. I'm not reading all the comments yet, but we are doing our best. We're almost there. What happened? Weather, British weather. Oh. So let's move swiftly. If you're new to my platform, it's all about self-determination. I don't care about your contraction called Nigeria. We don't believe in Nigeria anymore. You go, Koiki, you're abroad. You are trying to spawn it. Nigeria is not a country. Okay? During the powerful bomb explosion, which occurred, thank you so much, Dash Mayo, in the street of Ibadan on the 16th of January 2024. Remember that our grandmother, one of our grandmother, lost the son, the Tolu Alashe. The son went to Ghana, visited Nigeria, got caught up. We were told that 7 people died during the bomb explosion in Ibadan on the 16th. Multiple houses destroyed. 80 people still probably life-threatening injuries. But today, many people do not still want to accept that Nigeria needs to expire and we need to let it go. The bomb blast that shook all part of the large city of Ibadan sank many houses on the street, destroyed many houses, killed 7 people, wounded 80 people. The Fulani declaration will be total, ruthless, and immediately expire from the month of February 20. Order all the Fulani to take arms. We call on all our Fulani brothers to take the war into the enemy territory in Plateau State, Enugu State, Lagos State, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, Makurdi, until the infidel government is brought down. This was all between 16th of January and the 24th of January. This was their first declaration to the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the second declaration. The Fulani second declaration. In this declaration, this is what the Fulani announced. The Fulani jihad, full blown, and we have no apologies. Then they added, it is like the present government wants to dare us. Let them be told that we shall burn down everything in Nigeria we don't care. This is the threat by the Fulani to the government of President Bola Tinubu since he became the president last year. This present president is not our president. He is deceiving himself. With this so-called Muslim arrangement, who cares? Go and see the Northerners today. They are already saying that they do not accept and believe Tinubu again, and they are not going to vote for him or accept the party to choose Tinubu as the contestant for the APC going into the 2027. I don't know what is going to happen, but I pray and I hope that Yoruba people would have leave Nigeria. If that is going to be happening, Tinubu must accept and allow a kind of negotiation. And don't say, Tinubu must not talk to you. No. When Tony Blair was the prime minister in this place, the Good Friday Agreement was negotiated by Bill Clinton, the then former president of America. And even after Bill Clinton, we know that, is it Boris Johnson that gave the, no, I think it's David Cameron. It was during David Cameron that the UK left European Union. It is a union that they've been together. They decided that that union doesn't favor them anymore. It doesn't allow them to control their borders and their laws. And they eventually left. And I can tell you the Prime Minister is right inside. I saw him when he was coming in just about an hour and a half ago. My name is still OLAYOMI KOIKI. We're still live from number 10 Downing Street as we continue our quest and our campaign to the right of the Yoruba people is an inalienable right. Ìwọ tó wà nílé máa sọ pé they play, ìwọ nìyà máa jẹ ká tó débi tá à ń lọ, okay? Instead of you to support the movement. And we pray that every one of you that have contributed to the Mewa Ọ̀rànmíyàn. Many people have been coming and saying, Mr. Koiki, ṣebí 10 naira ló ní ká san, àwọn kan tún ní ká máa san 1,000. Let me clear it very well again this afternoon. What Professor Banji Akintoye said is 10-10 wherever you are around the world. If you can give more, there is no problem. But ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nínú group tẹ́ fẹ́ force àwọn èèyàn pé kó san ju 10 lọ, you cannot do that. You have to leave it as it is. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ san 100 naira, wọ́n lè san. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ san 1,000 naira, wọ́n lè san. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ san 100 pounds, $200, 200 Canadian dollar. But it is meant to be 10-10 every single month fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko. Even if you don't believe in the self-determination, it is going to help us in the future, especially when we don't have the governors that are protecting us against the Fulani attacks. So mo bẹ̀ wá, mo rọ̀ wá, let everybody contribute their own into the Ọ̀rànmíyàn Mẹ́wàá. It is only 10 naira. If you can give more, give. But ẹ má bára yín argue nínú WhatsApp group. What we should be encouraging everybody now is to make sure that everybody is reminded that every month, kó lè máa dáwó sínú account tí wọ́n fi síta. And nobody will give you àṣẹ fóònù ìtìkú ni. What happened there? And nobody will give you their own personal account for you to use. It has to be the Ọ̀rànmíyàn account that has been given to us by our leader, Professor Banji Akintoye. Ẹni tí kò bá yé ẹ béèrè, but 10 naira ni wọ́n ní kó san. Má sọ fún mi pé ò ní 10 naira. O gbọ́dọ̀ ní 10 naira. Kò ń ṣe dandan ni pé kò ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tó bá ní, má stress ara ẹ̀. But everybody should make sure that ká fi ṣírò pé contribution tèmi fún ìrìn àjò yìí nìyẹn. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti dá sí àtàwọn tó túbọ̀ máa dá sí. Àwọn tó tún béèrè pé but èyí tó wá gbà nínú launching yẹn tó bá launch kan, definitely the money will be different, and I'm sure everybody knows this. In tó bá launch, àwọn kan máa fowó ńlá launch ẹ̀ ni, but àwọn kan lè máa lo small money láti continue. So please do not distort the information tó wà níta pé Ọ̀rànmíyàn 10 is meant for everybody, whether you are in Togo, whether you are in Afghanistan, wherever you are around the world. We must all make sure that we contribute towards Ọ̀rànmíyàn 10. So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn. Ẹni tí kò bá yé ẹ béèrè. Wọ́n ẹni tó bá béèrè ọ̀nà kò ní ṣìnà. Àwọn tó bá béèrè ló máa ń ṣìnà. So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn. So we're almost there. Number 7 lawa. And we are going to number 9. So kò ní pẹ́ mọ́ kí a tó ka lẹ́tà takọ sí Tinubu tán. So wọ́n ní we are going to Aso Rock and nobody will stop us. We shall take over the seat of the government, which is our right, and we shall direct every other operations from there. Forget the military. Are they not in our pocket? Are they not working for us? As for the Hausas, those fools knows better. They either live under this jihad or perish like the rest of the unbelievers. So we are the unbelievers. Àwa ló ń pè ní unbelievers. Àwa ló ń pè ní unbelievers. So if you're one of those thinking, Christian ni mí, look, these people do not care whether you're a Christian or they believe nínú àwọn Yoruba tó jẹ́ Muslim, because as far as they're concerned, the Yoruba people that are Muslims are not true Muslims. That is the way to classify one. Once again, bear with us. The internet connection is the reason why there's a kind of hiccup, with the transmission from here. The Yoruba think that they have a president. Let them sleep and enjoy themselves. What we did to them in Ilorin shall be child's play. They have seen what we have been able to do in the recent times to them. They are cowards and they are weak. But the Middle Belt think they are strong. But what type of bravery without weapons? We shall make sure that they have nothing to defend themselves with. We are almost done with them. They should remember what we did in Kaduna through our brother when we were in the government. These are very good lands. We have no apologies and we have started. Our royal fathers are proud of us. History has bestowed in our hands to accomplish, and there is no going back. These are the Fulani declaration to President Tinubu at the beginning of this year. Note, both of these declarations of war were proclaimed by the top Fulani organization named the Fulani Nationalist Movement, FUNAM, and were signed by its president and the vice president, Umar Amil Shehu and Badu Salisu Amadu. At the same time as the Fulani Nationalist Movement has been issuing their declarations of war, leading members of the Fulani traditional and political elite, the Sultan, Emirs, former president, vice president of Nigeria, former ministers in the Nigerian federal government, former and the current members of the Nigerian National Assembly, all of whom never raised a voice against President Buhari's egregious misgovernment and hideous corruption for 8 years, have been viciously, persistently castigating Tinubu. So what that means is that when Buhari was there, all his own clan, war sorrow, the corruption, the killings, the economic collapse, the borrowing of the money. Koda Buhari went to United Nations and requested that Palestinian people and the Rohingya should be allowed self-determination. But nígbà tí Buhari lọ tán, ó wá ń pariwo mọ́ Tinubu. Wọ́n ní Tinubu, Nàìjíríà ọ̀dà, Sultan ní kí Tinubu wá nǹkan ṣe sí. But nígbà tí Buhari wà níbẹ̀, they all kept mute over virtually every official action of his, threatening that their northern masses will rebel against and threatening that the Nigerian military will sack his government. Ẹ rántí pé Sultan sọ fún Tinubu pé táwọn ọmọ yẹn tá bá tú wọn lẹ̀, ìlú yóò nílé contain gbogbo wa. You might all say that it's not going to happen, but we can all see it happening in our eyes on a daily basis. Once again, we're still live at number 10 Downing Street, where this transmission is coming from. The Fulani elite seems to be saying, in effect, that they intend to make Nigeria ungovernable for President Tinubu and that they will never accept any official action of his. These are the Yoruba response. We Yoruba are civilized modern people. We attach the greatest importance to citizens, respect for the sanctity, integrity, and the dignity of the public authority. We are sure that all public order and good depend on these conditions. We find it extremely difficult to continue to accept to be part of a country in which one of the constituent peoples feel free to treat their country and its government as the Fulani are treating Nigeria. the Nigerian president, the Nigerian federal government, and all the government and the peoples of the Nigerian Federation today, we are sure that the Fulani act of terror and destruction against other Nigerian peoples are criminal acts. We are sure too that most of what the Fulani are saying in their declarations of war against the president and the federal government and the peoples of Nigeria are serious crimes. We are, as people, concede that it is the prerogative of the Nigerian federal government to deal with crimes as it chooses. But we as a people are clearly opposed to continue to participate in a state entity in which the government seems to lack the systematic strength, the political will, and the moral confidence to treat crimes as crimes and criminals as criminals. We believe that the situation, like the potent, horrific victim of the already deep anarchy and economic failure of Nigeria, and its promises to galvanize Nigeria to an all-encompassing violence and war, which will consume millions of Nigerian lives and extort disaster and human suffering to the rest of West Africa. We Yoruba cannot consent any longer to being a part of such an inevitable and imminent disaster. Our closing words. This is the letter to Tinubu that I'm just reading out again. Your Excellency, the above plus all the matters raised by us in our letter to President Muhammadu Buhari dated the 6th of August 2022, a copy of which letter we hereby respectfully attach to this letter, is the fullness of our respectful message to Your Excellency. Your Excellency, we Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, acting for and on behalf of the 60 million Yoruba people of Ekiti State, Lagos State, Ogun State, Ondo State, Osun State, Oyo State, plus the Yoruba local government areas of Kogi and Kwara State, plus the Ishekiri and the homeland of Delta State, all together constituting the Yoruba land in Nigeria, hereby most humbly place our crown request before Your Excellency. I can see that the Instagram is cutting out frequently, so it looks like there's a kind of, tampering with the Instagram, maybe from their side, I don't know. But Instagram that normally gives me 1 hour is even giving me less than an hour. It keeps cutting out every like 15 minutes. So you can tell that the security here is just too powerful, and whatever is happening behind the closed door, I don't know. But we're almost there. But the only thing is they cannot stop people like us from coming here, especially if you are a journalist that is fully registered and also a member of the National Union of Journalists. That the Nigerian federal government shall within the next 2 months, but not later than the 15th of June 2024. So we expect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the federal government to acknowledge this letter not later than the 15th Mukia Jaya TV of June this year. So, and we hope Tinubu will respond. Look, if you send a letter to Rishi Sunak, he will respond. But because we are Africans, and the way the mentality, Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister, Starmer election, okay, short is election Bonnie. I'm going to read that something just popped up now. Maybe he has announced the election is coming. And to Sky News, Nili, Abi BBC, Elebawa Fisunu comment section. Because I cannot say anything, but something popped up on my phone, so I don't know what is going on. But I know he's going to call the election anytime soon. That is for sure. So, Afun Tinubu TTD June 15, in 13. So, to bá di ọjọ́ méjì lẹ́ni, ó máa kú. Okay, wọ́n ní kò tí pè fẹ́ election. Sherry, again, every now and then, my Instagram keeps cutting out. And I know it's security. Like Instagram, Latin Biba, I don't know. So, one disconnected, you know, it's the government now. Government building, most importantly, the residence of the Prime Minister. So you can expect, because every 10 minutes, the moving get Instagram missing. So like there's kind of Boboshin cut off the month, but at the fact, letter, my analysis there. 1 hour, not money more failure, but I've done 1 hour, 20 minutes. So we expect that the government would come and talk to us. And then the last part of it, and this letter, you can find it on my website, Koikimedia.com, where you can also download, you can read it, you can keep it, and like other documents that we kept there. We hope that Tinubu will come out a negotiating team that will meet and dialogue with the Yoruba nation's negotiation team. Look, I understand that Nigerians doesn't want Nigeria to break, but it's important that the government negotiate. When the UK nígbà tó fẹ́ kúrò ní EU, it was all negotiation. Àwọn kan ní àwọn fẹ́ lọ, àwọn kan ní àwọn ò lọ. It now become yes or no. And eventually, the yes have it. They gave the Scottish people opportunity in 2014 for a referendum. And it was yes or no. I want to accept I want to law. But today, the Scottish people are now saying, F1 referendum me. But the Westminster does not want to give them another referendum because they are likely to go. So that as soon as we receive the communication from the Nigerian federal government in response to this request of ours for negotiation, we shall forward the list of our negotiation team to the Nigerian federal government, that the Nigerian federal government negotiation team and our negotiation team shall meet to appoint a co-chairperson to agree on a date for the first negotiation meeting, to the negotiation venue and the negotiation agenda and the process, that the Nigerian federal government shall then invite United Nations. United Nations okay for you on the country, but what they represent what they will represent to witness, a country that wants to go separately without a single bullet. When the UK left EU, there was nobody killing each other. They would also invite the African Union and also the ECOWAS to send observer to the negotiation meeting. Your Excellency, please accept the best assurance of our highest regard and our best wishes. Yours sincerely, Professor Adebanji Akitoye, the national leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, leader Yoruba National Defense. Otumba Ola Ademola, the Vice Chairman, Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. And that is the letter that we sent to President Bola Tinubu, as stated in that, little reading again. We've read it before, but we've never read it right here in front of number 10 Downing Street. So it is important that, we lock it there today. Let's put it back in the bag. Magbiyanju pé kò gbélé ní Nigeria is not allowed, okay? But níbí báyìí àwa lè gbé torí pé we are still not in a country like Nigeria. So imagine that on Instagram. So I just want to put that back, and then hopefully have some little bit of drink there. Kí ẹnu mi tó wà mo train at nǹkan kí a lè rí nǹkan mu. Nice. Nígbà tí mo wọlé bọ̀, wọ́n ní ẹrù ṣe wá pọ̀ nínú báàgì mi báyìí. Mo ní kò ṣẹjọ́ tèmi náà. Ṣọ́wọ́ mọ̀ pé ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú máa ń di ẹrù káàkiri. Àwọn Ìjẹ̀bú ẹlẹ́rù tankasu. So I have so much stuff in my bag. But I do pẹ́ fọ́lọ́run pé ó ń fún wa ṣe bí a ti ṣe ń fẹ́. Imagine it on Instagram. So I'm just gonna put my bag at the back because I'm a to move missing. So ntafiwa ṣe ní bíbá àti fi sínú. All right, so let me have my backpack ready. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Okay, Bugua, thank you so much. Let's appreciate many of you that have joined us. Just Reason says, the government of Nigeria doesn't have the concept of the responsibility and the accountability to the citizens, and the people are resigning to taking that rubbish is a norm. Aziz says, good morning to you, mother. I cite you, ma. Oluremi Ogabi says, no, there's no election yet. Dash Mayor, good afternoon. Grace Olushoto Mamawani, beautiful afternoon. Happy new week ahead to you, my dearest Olayomi, the AK White Lion, last man standing, Yoruba nation, no retreat, no surrender. Peter Pan said, love you. Have for your people is highly appreciated. I hope this message is an eye-opener. Pastor Mo says, good afternoon and well done, Koikimedia. Ajuwa ṣe fún agbára Ọlọ́run, Pastor Mo. Just reason says, Yoruba nation is the first step to the right direction of the Yoruba land. This will create a stable state and should not stop us from having a good relations with the neighboring state. And that's right. You know, having a Yoruba nation. Thank you so much, Yawa Comfort Ologunja, and thank you so much for the super chat as well. Peter Pan, thank you again. Just Reason says, keep up the good work, brother, you're doing. Tony Eji says, yes, there's a lot of security in where you are. Aziz, thank you for the super chat. Mark Steven, thank you so much for joining us. Says, good work, Mr. Koiki. Always love you. Tony Eji says, good afternoon, White Lion. Continue the great work you're doing. Aziz says, good morning to you, my brother. Media, Google Media, Mr. Number 10 himself. Well done. And also, Mrs. Comfort Ologunja with the super chat. Thank you for the great efforts on the Yoruba Nation Movement campaign. Just Reason says, Yoruba Nation is the first step in the right direction to create a stable state and should not. Okay, I've read that already. Kunle Shita, good afternoon. Peter Pan again. Yemi Fatuki, good afternoon. Ganelo Yede, good afternoon. And your fair Ibrahim, good afternoon. Oluremi Ogabi, good afternoon. City Boy, good afternoon. Koikimedia Facebook. I will not be able to see everybody, but again, I do appreciate every one of you as well. Yawa Mofolualuke, what a weather. Hardly had anything in the broadcast. I'm sure Tabakbari Egbo again. Emma Binusiwa, it's just at the network. Ijaya sọ pé gbayi. Oyeyemi Oladimeji says good morning. Warizi Inodu, thank you so much. Yoruba self-determination. Ukechukwu said we can hardly hear you again. Like I said, it's all got to do with the security. I'm going to come out of here now, so it will be much a little bit better. And that way, what we're going to do, enter Lori Instagram. I'm going to end the Instagram because I want to control only the tripod. They keep cutting the Instagram. I guess it's security reasons anyway, so it's nothing to worry about. Enter our Instagram. I got to disconnect because I got to, go join us on the other platform. As you can see, we still have other platform running that you can watch us from. Thank you so much for those of you on the Instagram, because I got to come out now and do some other thing. Thank you so much. Bye for now. So, as I say all the time, we all have a responsibility to continue our quest. It's a non-violent, and you by carry now. It got over. Muki, Mr. Adegbola Oladimeji, thank you so much. Muki, mọ́tò kan tó fẹ́ wọlé, ẹ bá rí bó ṣe ń check ẹ̀, ẹ jẹun bí lọ bá kẹrí. There is security to fin check it. No be joke. I gotta put the phone away. So I'm gonna move this in a bit. So I gotta put my jacket away. I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, I can call what or atẹ́gùn tó ń fẹ́. Atẹ́gùn yẹn ń fẹ́ díẹ̀. All right, I'm gonna swallow that. Sorry, I'm gonna move this in. Command my lord for many problems. It's a lot of movements, and I came out with just one tripod, so I'm not managing it. So let's see how far we go, and then we will be fine. So I think that will be fine. So that will be fine. So let's tighten this as well, because I'm not judging in by anything. So that means I need to tighten everything properly. Security lot to tighten it by because I'm a government resident in it, so can't joke with the security. It has to be very, very tight. Oríṣiríṣi àwọn èèyàn ló máa ń wọlé, àwọn tó gbóúnjẹ wá tó wá deliver oúnjẹ, so a lot of things happen, and then I'm gonna move this in. So let's take Mokiyawa, brother, rather, Iyola, Salafele Wasa. I want to take a picture of myself just for my own record purpose as usual. So let's take one like this with all my phones behind. Okay. And then we could do a landscape as well. So I'm going to take another one. A smile into one camera. A smile. So I'm going to turn it around so you guys will see. Uh-oh. I'm going to turn it around. So we're going to turn it around a little bit. We're going to turn it around. Turn the camera around. Oh, no. We can't turn this one around. B, Master Similawo. All right. I think we should go back the way it is before. A little bit better. Now let's come back. Let's come back out this way. We're almost coming out of here. It's a lot of movement. Yeah, I think it's better now. All right, so let me get myself this landscape. All right, so now, okay, about mommy current way. So now I gotta start moving now. So there will be a lot of movement, especially because the way things are set up with the tripod. So we're gonna move a little bit now. So bear with me. I'm about to exit here and then make my way out. Make my way out as usual. Look at local share, no local share, so we're all doing our jobs. We all have different jobs and we all have different roles. So road we are playing the bigger. Road you want to secure Prime Minister. Road you want to secure Prime Minister. So we need to go. Just look at it. All right. Are we ready to go? Are we good to go? Training. All right, we're gonna have a problem with this one. So what we're gonna do, I enter our lorry Facebook. I'm at end the broadcast Facebook here. It's giving me too much problem. I'm allowed to end it. I'm having too much problem with the Facebook, so I'm at end Facebook. Hello, join our lorry YouTube. I have to end it because I'm having too much problem with the broadcast from there. So let me turn the camera around so you can see the view that way. So that is the view as I'm exiting now in a minute. I'm gonna exit and see. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé a kú ọjọ́ ajé tèmi. All right, now let's again your Lekuro. So we're just on YouTube and one Facebook, 2 YouTube, 1 Facebook. So Now we're gonna exit. So Kinile and Ruwile, yeah, London Eye, yeah, that's the London Eye, right, you know, further down there. A lot of tourists come here, a lot of students, and a lot of Antofi Jakba. Everybody wants to make UK their final destination. So if you can make it down here, wish you the best of luck. Like I said, if you can get here, fine. If you can get here, that is fine. Absolutely fine. All right, now I can focus a little bit, less stress. I don't expect a visitor come that way. Only if I training here. So we're gonna move in a minute. All right, let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Go. All right, let me bring it back to my face. Let's drop it down. Again, drop tripod down so I can have a proper grip of the tripod. Yeah, there we go. So tripod is down. And we can now exit. And here we go. So we leave number 10 and then we make our way out. Okay, gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé àkóbójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí ní gbogbo ibikíbi tá bá wà as we continue our quest to self-determination. Right ni kò sí àwọn kan tó ń dẹ́rù bàyàn kankan ẹ máa kọ́ dẹ́rù bàyàn inalienable right ni kò sí nǹkan tó ọlọ́pàá kankan lè ṣe. Nàìjíríà ló ti máa ń halẹ̀ mọ́ yín pé èyí tẹ́ ń ṣe Yorùbá nation yẹn ẹ ti rófin kò sí àwọn kan tó ń pè lófin. Thank you, officers. Thank you, officer. Bye for now. Àwọn adẹ́rù bàyàn Nàìjíríà ló ti ń dẹ́rù bàyàn kò yẹ ní sí. Ìyẹn lọ ṣe sọ pé civilized world báyìí la fẹ́ kẹ́ gbé gbogbo àwọn tourist lẹ́yìn gbogbo àwọn tourist kò tó gbogbo èèyàn ló lè wọ ọbẹ̀ ìwọ rò pé gbogbo èèyàn ló lè wọ ọbẹ̀ ni kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn máa ń sọ fún ẹ èmi ò ń ṣe tourist yóò aláwa ń gbé ẹni tó gbé ní bíbá ó yàtọ̀ sẹ́ni tó wá ṣe tourist àwọn ń ṣe tourist ìyẹn ní sìn torí security ẹ̀ sọ bó ṣe jẹ́ bí. So what I'm so from Ministry of Defense ló dìbà building tó ń wò is the Ministry of Defense building tó ń wò lọ́nkọ́lọ́n in Parliament, okay? Scotland Yard, no sorry, Ministry of Defense òun ló wà ní lọ́wọ́ òkè lọ́hùn yẹn níbi tí flag yẹn wà. Scotland Yard òun lè lè. So but ní Nigeria wọ́n make it look like pé àwọn tó ń béèrè fún self-determination pé crime là ń commit commit crime kankan ẹ má kẹ́ni kankan sọ fún mi pé wọ́n commit crime kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń commit crime. Nigeria ló ń commit crime lé wa lórí àbọ̀rọ̀ mòye yín ní sí. Nigeria ló ń commit crime, and again as you can see as we leave number 10, and let's show you the view from here again. As we leave the number 10, hopefully we'll be back again soon. So you can see that's the British flag and that's the Ukraine flag. Lower Ukraine, British flag here. So so now let me just take you a little bit to ibi tí wọ́n ti make a good decision ayé Nigeria. the parliament. Níbẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti draft the constitution. Imagine, come máa bá wa draft the constitution. Ẹ sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n á ní shut up. So kí lèmi dẹ́ mọ̀. So that's what happened. You know. Àwọn tá à ń sọ fún wọ́n á ní ká shut up. So rift lele. So you know, àwọn tá à ń sọ fún wọ́n á ní shut up. Kí lolúwẹ̀ dẹ́ mọ̀. Tó bá yá gbogbo wa pátá la máa béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́ tá à ń béèrè fún right ni. Gbogbo àwọn eléyìí nísìn tán rántí àwọn tó jà, gbogbo àwọn tó jà fáwọn ọ̀ràn tiwọn náà ni. So bó ṣe láti rí náà nìyẹn. But unfortunately Nigeria is what it is. It's a corrupt system. System tó ṣiṣẹ́ òun ní Nigeria. System tó dẹ̀ lè work ni. Kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé prayer kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú prayer. It is just that the system, you know, is not going to work. But because we live in denial, but because irọ́ ti pọ̀ jù, wọ́n ti parọ́ fún wa. They've given us this impression that ìtẹ́ ń béèrè fún yẹn ó dìgbà tí Babangida bá dá sí, ó dìgbà tó Ọbásanjọ́ bá dá sí, gbogbo yẹn rọ́ ni. Àwọn bàbá Akíntóyè ti ṣe the needful. It's a 35-page template ọ̀nà tá a máa fi gbà á tó ń ṣe violent. Gbogbo tá a máa láti ṣe kó tó lè bọ́ sí ìmúṣẹ. Gbogbo engagement wa, gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá ni bàbá Akíntóyè ni wọ́n ti ṣe nínú ìlànà tí a ti wá fi wá fọ́ọ̀mù YSDM. But because àwọn èèyàn ti believe pé tó ò báyìí tí kọ́kọ́ bá olówó sọ̀rọ̀ ní Nàìjíríà pé wọ́n láti accept pé kí Nàìjíríà kó pín, ó dà pa àwọn nǹkan mọ̀mọ́ tó ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. But there's always people every day for different purposes. Ibi tẹ́mi wọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ ní ibi bá. Ibi tí mo wọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan building ti wà nú ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan gbogbo bíbá ní ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ níbi tẹ́ ti ń gbọ́ sound tó ń dún pàpàpàpà lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn tí wọ́n jẹ́ ká gbádùn broadcast yẹn. So ẹ jẹ́ kí n kọ̀wé àwọn kan ló ń protest níbí báyìí. So right àwọn èèyàn ní láti protest. But ní Nàìjíríà tá a bá jáde pa fẹ́ protest wọ́n á kọ́ ọlọ́pàá jáde wọ́n á máa pààyàn. Ìlú òfò gbogbo wọn dẹ̀ lọ́ máa ń travel wá sí abroad. But ẹni tó wà ń lé tó bá sọ fún pé kò láti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á ní shut up. Wọ́n á ní kí ni ìwọ mọ̀. So at the end of the day, many Nigerians, Sherry, moment táwọn ilé ń protest fún nísìn, but there's something going on here. And it's been going on, Sherry. Only God knows what they are protesting for. Àfi tí wọ́n bá súnmọ́ wọn, Sherry. Ó ràn pa àwọn Iran lélẹ̀. Mo ti rí. The regime of the Islamic Republic of its IRGC, Iranian, mo ti rí. Genocide. Iranian officials to investigate revenge of a poisoning of schoolgirls. Sherry. Number 10 Downing Street lélẹ̀ yìí. Ibi tẹ́mi ti ń ṣe broadcast lẹ́ẹ̀kan Foreign and Commonwealth Office. But ẹ bá sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé bó ṣe láti rí lélẹ̀ ṣé a lè máa protest báyìí ní Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n ní kó bọ̀ síta tí wọ́n ní pààyàn kò dẹ̀ láti rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Normally kò gbọ́dọ̀ rí bẹ́ẹ̀. It is not a process, but it is just because Nigeria is not designed. Kò kí ń ṣe country. Wọ́n design Nigeria kò work. Ẹ ká kọ́ gbọ́n nǹkan táwọn ilé ń sọ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Àwọn kan náà ló tún protest. Ó dà ń pọ́tọ̀ làwọn ilé. Sorry. You see it? Why ban the IRGC as a terror organization in UK? You can see. You see? People are always asking for their right. Rishi Sunak lele. That's our Prime Minister. Rishi Sunak ni. Ibi báyìí láwọn ilé ń gbé o. Ibi àbí tán àwọn ilé ti campus ibi báyìí. So building tèmi wà yẹn ọ̀nà méjì ni tẹ́ bá gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ wọlé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tí wọ́n á lọ sí the other gate foreign and commonwealth lélẹ̀.
পরিষ্কার হয়ে গেছে এই সরকার দুর্নীতিবাদ, এই সরকার বাংলার জনগণের টাকা হরণ করে খেয়ে ফেলেছি। এই জন্য আজকে বাংলাদেশের মানুষ বাংলাদেশের মানুষ আজ পুরো জেলা যন্ত্রণা করতেছে। বাংলাদেশের জনগণ আজ অভাবের মধ্যে আছে। বাংলার জনগণ আজ বাংলাদেশের জনগণের মধ্যে আজ কোনো কিছু নিয়ন্ত্রণ নেই। সব কিছু বাংলার জনগণের হাত থেকে নিয়ন্ত্রণ ছাড়া হয়ে গেছে। বন্ধুগণ, আমরা বলতে চাই সরকার ব্রিটিশ পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রীকে আপনার মাধ্যমে আমরা আন্তর্জাতিকভাবে এটার আন্তর্জাতিকভাবে এই প্রতিমন্ত্রীর যে সরকারের 300টা বাড়ি দিয়েছে এটা আমরা দাবি জানাচ্ছি। যদি এখানে যদি সরকারের প্রতিমন্ত্রীর বাড়ি তদন্ত না হয় আমরা আন্তর্জাতিকভাবে আমরা আদালতে আমরা এর বিচার করবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। বন্ধুগণ, এই সরকার শেয়ার বাজার থেকে শুরু করে ব্যাংক ডাকাতি, মানুষকে হরণ, মানুষকে গুম খুন হত্যা করে মানুষকে আর কত করবে? মানুষেরকে হয়রানি করতেছে। আজ পর্যন্ত মানুষ তার নিরাপত্তা পাচ্ছে না। বন্ধুগণ, আমরা এখানে সাংবাদিক বন্ধুদেরকে আমরা স্বাগত জানাই যে আপনারা আমাদের বক্তব্য মিডিয়ার মাধ্যমে যে আপনারা এত কষ্ট করে আসে আমাদের বক্তব্যগুলো প্রকাশ করতেছেন। বন্ধুগণ, কিন্তু বাংলাদেশে আমরা কথা বললে কি বাংলা জনগণ আজ কথা বলতে পারতেছে না। আর কথা বললে তাদেরকে কি হয়ে যায়, তাদেরকে গুম করা যায়। বন্ধুগণ, আজকে গুম হত্যা বন্ধ করে সরকারকে বলে চাই গুম বন্ধ করুন এবং লুটপাট বন্ধ করে জনগণের অধিকার ফিরে দিন। জনগণ অধিকার ফিরে না দেন তাহলে আমরা একের পর এক আন্দোলন চালিয়ে যাবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। এই আশা ব্যক্ত করি আমার কথা এখানে সমাপ্ত করলাম। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
So what is it all about that is happening here today? Briefly.
It's for human rights. It's for Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Yes.
Okay.
And in Bangladesh, in the current government,
okay,
everything is like our people, opposite party.
Okay.
They're trying to.
Let me catch up with. I think they're handing letter to the FCDO.
আচ্ছা, সবাই পিছনে দাঁড়াক, সমস্যা না, পিছনে দাঁড়ায় আমরা ছবি উঠাই, আপনারা যান, অসুবিধা নেই। যারা যাইবেন ভিতরে যাইবো।
Tọmọ ènìyàn kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa bá yín ṣe. You have to actually. Sẹ́ni kankan.
ফাইট ফর রাইট ইন্টারন্যাশনালের পক্ষ থেকে আজকে এই মুহূর্তে ফরেন কমিউনিটি অফিসের সামনে তারা দাঁড়িয়েছে এখানে স্মারকলিপি দেওয়ার জন্য। এখন আমরা দেখছি যে এখানে নেতৃত্ববৃন্দরা অপেক্ষা করছে এই ব্রিটেনে আজকের এই ঐতিহাসিক অনুষ্ঠানটি আমরা সরাসরি আপনাদের সামনে তুলে ধরছি ইউপি কটবা টিভির পক্ষ থেকে। এবার আপনারা
we have a appointment here.
Now, ẹ yẹ kí n ṣàlàyé fún yín, ẹ jẹ́ n gbé kámẹ́rà mi wá sójú. Ṣé rí reason tí bátìrì mi ti ń sọ fún mi kó ti ń lò? Ṣé rí freedom kò òun ṣe tó máa easy àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹ́yẹ́ nísìn ìjà kan làwọn eléyìí náà ń jà yìí o Bangladesh injustice inhumane you understand ìtàn jà fún nísìn tó bá dọbẹ̀ tán nísìn ẹni tó mọ̀ kankan nípa ẹ̀ á wá jáde nígbà tó ń ṣe wàhálà nísìn ó yẹ kó lọ síbi iṣẹ́ wọ̀ lọ́bi iṣẹ́ wọ́n take time off láti wá béèrè fẹ́tọ̀ wọn because Bangladesh ń dín pẹ̀lú wọn so wọ́n ní the Bangladesh government is dealing with them so it's their right. This is why we are saying to you, your right is something that you must ask for. Nobody is going to give it to you, but you must continue to ask for that right. Just like the Yoruba people wants to get the hell out of the shito country, don't put Nigeria. So kudos to you all, and we hope that one day your quest and your request and your objective will definitely become materialistic in our lifetime. In our lifetime, because the next generation will ask you. So those people that doesn't come out, tell them they need to come out next time. Thank you so much. I've given my card to one of you, so in case they want to reach out to me for further media conversation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, máa rò pé ọ̀kan máa wá fún ẹ ní freedom. Jókòó sínú ilé ẹ̀, ò fẹ́ wá gba freedom. Ta ló máa fi hàn freedom? Wọ́n ń ta lójú ẹlẹ́gbà, wọ́n ń ta freedom lójú ẹlẹ́gbà. Lórí àwọn kan lélẹ̀ náà nísìn, ta ṣóyún lẹ́ǹkan. Àwọn èèyàn máa ń jà ní wọ́n máa béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ tipẹ́tipẹ́ ká tó dé ìlú yìí láwọn èèyàn ti ń protest ayé àwọn bàbá ó lọ́wọ́ wọ́n protest nílùú yìí ayé àwọn bàbá ó lọ́wọ́ àwọn kan àwọn ilé nísìn àwọn ilé ti sọ bíbá ìdílé because of the injustice. Hello, how are you? Can you talk to me for that 1 minute? I'm a press, Koikimedia, as you can see it. And, so,
what is your question?
What I've heard about the Iranian, I believe this has got to do with the Iranian government, right? If I'm right.
Yes.
So, what actually is your demand? That is the most important thing. People wants to know, when people see things like this, what is your demand and
For
what do you,
446 days.
446 days you're going to be here?
No. I started here 446 days ago
What?
with 72 days hunger strike. This camp started with hunger strike,
With hunger strike?
yes, which lasted for 72 days, and I lost around 20 kilogram. On the day 72, I was hospitalized. I was 2 weeks in the hospital.
Okay.
Then I'll come back here. The demand of this camp is placing IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, on the list of terrorist organizations.
Okay.
So what is IRGC? What is Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps? Is the godfather of Hamas. Is the main funder of Hamas. Is the founder and the main funder of Hezbollah.
Okay.
Is the funder of all these 18 proxies in the region, and they are very active here. So we are.
They are very active.
active.
Okay, so when you say
They
active, because
they
I,
have many charities. They have Islamic centers. They have mosques. They brainwashing youth and turning them into the enemies of our values, our British values of democracy.
and that is why the UK is currently unsubstantial as we speak. That means it's likely to be attacked by terrorists, according to the
That's what
MI5.
I wrote there. Save Britain from Islamism, fascism, and
Terrorism.
by placing IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, on the list of terrorist organizations. And we said we will stay here, doesn't matter how long it takes, and doesn't matter what price we pay, until we achieve this goal for our safety and security here first in UK. Then
On the other side. Thank you so much.
no problem.
Thank you. Well, mo mọ tí mo tún fi hard mọ́ yẹn. Ṣé rí terrorism tẹ́yìn fi ń ṣeré Nàìjíríà ẹ̀? Oh my God, I pity many Nigerians that doesn't understand. Àwọn eléyìí ní sìnjà tó ń jà ní pé the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps are terrorists and the UK government should put them on that spot. Àwọn yẹn ọ̀tọ̀tún làwọn yẹn àwọn Bangladesh làwọn yẹn. So two different things, and this is what happened continuously. Ono ti wà ní hunger strike for 72 days. He was hospitalized. You can see valid hunger strike lasted 72 days and was followed by 2 weeks of hospitalization. Ó tún tún padà wá síbí báyìí. and kí ló ń sọ ó ní save Britain from Islamic òun làwa wá ti ní àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe ẹ̀sìn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tá à ń sọ fún yín pé ẹ̀sìn tó ń ṣe yìí ideology terrorism ni ẹni kì í shut up. Ẹ̀sìn tó ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lénìí it is all the mo kí brother mi Adébáyọ̀ Kìkíọ́lá ẹ̀sìn tó ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ní gbogbo Ìlọrin kankan yẹn gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ wọ́n mufti wo gbogbo they are terrorists ni wọ́n fund wọn láti ta they are well funded owó burúkú wà lọ́wọ́ wọn àwọn ló máa kọ́ mọ́ṣáláṣí tán irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n náà ṣe charity irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀ ìjà táwọn eléyìí jà nìyẹn o ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn yẹn àwọn ti Bangladesh làwọn yẹn ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn eléyìí. Cherry, as a result of the IRGC brutal crackdown on innocent protesters, at least 80 women and girls were killed by the Iranian security forces during the Iran uprising. Just like bó ṣe fi pa olóyè Ìgbòho sílé àwọn Fulani inú ọmọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ ń dùn a dẹ̀ ń sọ fún yín pé kò jẹ́ kó rí báyìí but lọ́kàn yín Koiki ò níṣẹ́ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ èmi kan tẹ́ máa ń sọ nìyẹn tó bá yá ọba Elédùmarè á jẹ́ kó yé gbogbo wa ju bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ kò ní sú wa kò ní rẹ̀ wá we will continue to make all this. Hey, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? I just came out from number 10 Downing Street.
We want to get there. What are you doing here?
No, the security.
Don't allow me.
No. You don't have security. Same here. You don't have security tag now, like me.
Okay, you show this on Lagos or what?
We're live.
So are they showing me live now?
I haven't shown you because I don't know whether you want me to show you.
Okay, show me.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So what you do? I guess you're on holiday here, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
On holiday.
Okay. So how have you seen UK since your arrival?
Well, it's a beautiful country.
Okay.
It's a lovely place to visit.
Lots of places to visit. So I don't know how long. I'm sure you probably spent 24 hours already. What will you take back to Nigeria if you are meant to take something back to go and tell them back home? What will you take?
A security network.
That's it. Don't say even anything more.
Notch.
Top notch. You can move from point A to B without being worried and scared.
No molestation, no harassment.
That's it. I won't ask more questions. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Koiki.
Auntie,
Nice meeting you.
same here, Mama. All right, take care. Well, kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kí wọn náà wọlé o. Tó bá dé bí báyìí ló máa ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ no molestation security ni ìlú tó bá ti sí security waste of time ni kò gbogbo wàhálà tẹ̀ ń ṣe afẹ́kọ́lé afẹ́ralẹ̀ ìyàn ilẹ̀ wo ni mò ń rà ìyàn máa ralẹ̀ tí ibi tọ́mọ nílẹ̀ máa nàyàn lẹ́gbà tá máa fògùn léyàn ìlú tó bá ti sí security kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ lè ṣe níbẹ̀ waste of time because security kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Simon Adébísí corruption ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún yín pé àwa tá à ń béèrè fún Yorùbá nation yìí àmọ́ tá à ń béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́ tá à ń béèrè fún yìí right ni but wọ́n máa sọ fún yín pé kò ń ṣe right because olóṣèlú mọ̀ pé tó bá ti mọ̀ pé right ni business ẹ fẹ́ ṣe wò kò sí. Security ò sí lọ́ṣẹ̀ lọ sílé epo tọ́lọ́dá gbogbo ẹ̀rú 700 million worth of goods lọ damage so kọ́ńkó kó wà pẹ̀lú wa kó má fi wá sílẹ̀. HM Revenue and Custom òun ní báyìí Department for Digital Culture and Media and Sport building yẹn lélẹ̀ so we must not get tired and we must not relent. That is just the message today. And as we're going to be ending the broadcast in just about a few minutes from now, I would like to appreciate everyone that have joined us again on this live transmission. As we say all the time, Yoruba people will be free, and we will be free, and we will be free. There is no amount of threat from anyone. Àwọn tó wá dárin àjòrú láàrin méjì, gbogbo wọn pátápátá ni Ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè ló máa ṣe kíni ló máa ṣe ìdájọ́ fún. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí o, orúkọ mi ni Olayomi Koiki, tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Àmì jù báyìí lọ lórí ètò tọ̀sán ẹ̀ mo kí ẹ Ọmọbọ́lájí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Waris Zinadu 24-hour security ẹ̀ torí pé mo ti kúrò nínú number 10 lẹ́sẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa ìyá mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn tẹ́ ẹ̀ gbọ́ mi ẹni ṣíṣe bínú ni ó máa ń wá bẹ̀ lẹ́ǹkọ̀ọ̀kan is what it is. Ẹ jẹ́ ń gbélé wálé láǹkì sí wọ́n á fi tẹ́ǹ the broadcast. So ẹ má fi ṣèbínú, mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí o. Ọba Elédùmarè kò ní jẹ́ kí a ṣe wàhálà lásán, bó pẹ́ bóyá adélẹ̀ lérí wa, gbogbo ẹni tó ní àní débẹ̀ a máa débẹ̀, ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ àdọ́yọ̀ ariwo ẹ̀ ló máa pọ̀ ni, a máa délẹ̀ lérí, but a gbọ́dọ̀ relent, and we must make sure we do whatever needs to be done to make sure that we educate the people. A kò ní láti educate àwọn èèyàn wa more, kó lè mọ purpose tá a ṣe fẹ́ lọ, kó dẹ̀ lè ní understanding ẹ̀ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ lọ. That is all about it. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí, I gotta go now because I have to start moving. It's almost coming up to 2:37. Yoruba nation, no going back. Mo kí bàbá wa Akíntóyè, mo kí bàbá wa Ìgbòho, Ọ̀túnba Adémọ́lá gbọ́ wà ní pé láti bẹ̀rù làwọn ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá, ṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa, tẹ̀síwájú fọ́bọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára, ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ, ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Ìyá mi Rachel mo kí mọ̀ sí mi náà. And on that note, au revoir, bye for now.